I really viewed God as this tyrannical force in my life that wanted to control me rather than understand me and love me. Growing up, I didn't believe that I was a good enough Christian to be in Christian community. Constantly felt this need to perform in order to deserve love or just receive validation for who I was. It was how I started to view everything, from academics to relationships and dating to career to the way that I interacted with my friends and my family. I was really steadfast on having a relationship and someone to validate that I was good enough. In thinking that I was going to have this full relationship that would heal me, I thought that meant I had to have sex with this person to keep them and to not miss out on the fullness of having a relationship validate you, that I had to do it to be loved. It was the first 6 months that things felt good and fun, but then for 7.5 years, I continued to go to God, ask for instructions, and when I didn't feel like I heard anything, I stayed. We ended up getting engaged, but there was an underlying sense of dread and a complete lack of peace, and I ended up calling it off. I felt this really strange duality of both heartbreak and liberation, and it was difficult holding those two things at the same time. So I thought that I could numb the pain and convince myself that I was okay by just dating and pretty quickly getting involved in physical intimacy again. I felt imprisoned by that cycle and I couldn't escape it until I ended up pregnant and having an abortion. Finding out I was pregnant, and 2 days later when I had the abortion, it was just this feeling of being so alone and so filled with despair and sorrow. I wasn't expecting to react that way, but the grief was crippling. I just fell down on my knees, crying out to God, and He said, "No man can heal your heart. You've looked at relationships, you've looked at friends, you've looked at psychology, you've looked at science, you've looked at Eastern medicine. Why are you going to every other area in the book to try and heal you? Why won't you just try with me?" God is a loving Father. It is so much more than, is He happy with me? He just wants to spend time with me. I'm His daughter, in the same way that a father or a mother wants to spend time just like with their kids. God wanted all of that with me. It was, I think, the 3rd week in January, and I had gone to one FOUNT service in the fall, in October 2023, and I was like, I'm going back. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to get plugged into dinner party. I was sitting there like with my little cup of water, like, yes, okay, I'm new. I don't know any of you. And Beck Lawton came right over to me and she was like, "Hi, what's your name?" And just made me feel like so at home and so welcomed. And I think it was the Wednesday after that, or maybe the following one, I went to Fort Greene dinner party for the first time, and Beck happened to be in that dinner party. Their pursuit of me, their, "Hey, are you coming to service this weekend? I'll save you a seat. Are you going to be at dinner party next week?" made me feel safe and loved. And it also started to cast out lies that I didn't belong in Christian community. Every time I shared what I went through and what God brought me through and healed me from, everyone just loved on me. I do belong. I always belonged. And everything that tried to keep me quiet, the shame, the self-condemnation, the condemnation from the enemy, just broke off and lost its power and fell away.